Hello, brethren, companions, and friends. Welcome to the Working Tools Podcast, the podcast where we talk about all things Freemasonry, our history, our symbolism, our ceremonies, and most importantly, how Freemasonry continues to shape us as individuals in this modern world. I'm your host, worshipful brother, and excellent companion, Stephen Nagy. And this episode is brought to you by the Learning and Development team here at Surrey Freemasons, whose role is to support brethren across the province in developing confidence, understanding, and a deeper engagement with the craft. Now, today, we have a really exciting episode. Today's episode focuses on something that sits quietly in the background of modern Freemasonry, but has the potential to transform how we learn, how we understand ritual, and how we engage with our lodges. Today, we are talking about Solomon, the online learning platform provided by the United Grand Lodge of England. Now, from its earliest beginnings, Freemasonry has always been more than ceremony. It has been a system of education, moral, philosophical, and symbolic, passed down through generations using ritual, allegory, and shared experience. Long before formal classrooms or online platforms existed, Freemasons learned through discussion in lodge, instruction from senior brethren, repetition and reflection, and quiet contemplation of symbols and words. This is why learning has never been an optional extra in Freemasonry. It is fundamental to what we do. But the way we live and learn today has changed. Time pressures, work commitments, family life, and travel, they all affect how often we can attend lodges of instruction, lectures, or study groups. And not every lodge has the same access to educational resources. Solomon was created to meet this modern reality, not by replacing traditional learning, but by supporting it. Let's have a look at what Solomon is and what it isn't. Now, let's be clear about something important. Solomon is not there to tell you how to do Freemasonry properly. It's not prescriptive. And it certainly isn't there to undermine lodge tradition or local practice. What Solomon is a carefully curated learning environment designed to explain, contextualize, and deepen understanding. It allows brethren to explore the why behind what we do at their own pace, in their own time, and in a way that suits their personal learning style. That alone makes it one of the most powerful tools available to the modern Mason. One of the most important ideas behind Solomon is that understanding builds confidence. Many brethren will recognize that moment of hesitation before delivering ritual, or before occupying a new office, or when asked a question by a newer brother. Solomon helps remove that uncertainty. It gives brethren a chance to revisit their degrees, reflect on symbolism, and connect ritual actions with deeper meaning. And when understanding grows, confidence follows. Not just in ritual, but in conversation, mentoring, and leadership within the lodge. Solomon is thoughtfully structured to be accessible and intuitive. They have learning pathways. These are guided journeys aligned to the different stages of a Mason's progression. They help brethren focus on what is relevant now, while gently pointing towards what lies ahead. This sense of progression mirrors Freemasonry itself, step by step, degree by degree. You have modules and courses These explore topics such as the meaning of ritual, the symbolism of the degrees, lodge offices and their responsibilities, Masonic history and development, etiquette and best practice, and preparation for future roles. Modules can be revisited as often as needed, which is particularly valuable as understanding deepens over time. You have short learning pieces. Sometimes learning doesn't need to be lengthy. Solomon also provides concise resources, ideal for quick preparation before lodge, refreshing your understanding, or prompting discussion within a lodge setting. Ritual is often described as the heartbeat of Freemasonry. Yet many brethren will admit that, at times, ritual can feel challenging, especially when learned purely by repetition. Solomon helps bridge that gap. It encourages brethren to understand the structure of ritual, explore symbolism in context, and recognize the moral and philosophical lessons embedded within each ceremony. When this happens, ritual changes. It becomes more engaging, more meaningful, and more personal. Suddenly, the words are no longer just words. They carry intention and insight. Solomon is particularly valuable for brethren progressing through the offices. Each role in the lodge carries responsibility, not just in action, but in example. Solomon supports officers by explaining the purpose of each office, outlining expectations, and helping brethren see how their role contributes to the lodge as a whole. This creates better officers, stronger lodges, and more confident leadership. While Solomon is often used individually, its real strength emerges when it is brought into the lodge environment. It can support LOIs, lodges of instruction, mentoring and relationships, candidate preparation, short educational moments during meetings, and province-wide learning initiatives. Used thoughtfully, Solomon helps foster a culture where learning is shared, not guarded, and where discussion becomes a natural part of lodge life. Now, why Solomon matters now more than ever? Freemasonry today faces an important question. How do we remain relevant, meaningful, and engaging in a rapidly changing world? Solomon is part of that answer. It shows that Freemasonry is not afraid to adapt while remaining true to its principles. It reinforces the idea that learning is lifelong and that progression in Freemasonry does not end with a rank or a title. Instead, it deepens. Now, a moment of reflection. Many brethren can recall a moment when something in Freemasonry suddenly made sense. That light bulb moment, when a symbol, a phrase, or a ceremony revealed its meaning. Solomon creates space for those moments. It invites us to pause, reflect, and engage, not out of obligation, but out of curiosity. And curiosity in Freemasonry is often the doorway to light. Brethren, Solomon is one of the most valuable tools available to the modern Mason. It supports learning, it deepens understanding, and it strengthens our lodges and our province. Whether you are just beginning on your journey or have walked that path for many years, Solomon offers something worthwhile if you're willing to engage with it. I'd like to thank you for joining me on this episode of the Working Tools podcast. If you found this episode useful, please like, share, and subscribe on YouTube and Spotify, and help us continue to promote learning and understanding across the craft. And also, please check out Solomon, and that's on solomon.ugle.org.uk. I'm Worshipful brother and excellent companion Stephen Nagy, and as always, the working tools are in your hands. What will you build?